Now then, people, good evening and welcome back to everyone's favourite show. It is, of course, the White Rose Rivals, coming to you every Thursday at 6 p.m. As you can see, we are a bit thin on the ground this week. Ash has bottled it because Chef Wednesday's revival lasted all of one game and they got absolutely humbled by Sunderland. And, of course, they're about to get humbled tomorrow night as well. So he's bottled it. No, I don't actually know why he's here, folks. I hope everything's good. And no Hull City representatives. Again, shoddy start to the season, no wins for them. Just keep drawing games. It's quite, it's understandable in it. A few results go the other way and people suddenly put rain checks in. It is what it is. But the usual suspects are here. And we'll start with Kaiser Soze, actually, which is Cossie down there because Huddersfield are flying the white flag, mate. They're flying the White Rose Rivals flag because you've had a perfect start to the season, another win on the weekend, second in the league, 6 points on the board. You must be absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, when you said flying a white flag, that was last season's.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
No, it's that good, Joe. That I can't even get my name on this podcast anymore. It's disappointing, mate. But I'll go as a blank. Yeah. No, obviously the mighty football superpower of Stevenage Borough was seen off on Saturday. I think the thing is, Joe, it's like obviously you'll remember from your League One days, not that long ago, to be honest with you. It's like when you get in front in the game and it looks so easy, and then all of a sudden, you dominate. I think we had 73% possession that first half, which is like total unprecedented scenes really for Huddersfield. I don't think we've ever had as much ball in about 3 or 4 seasons, and obviously we should have been out of sight at half time, but football always tells you that they'll have a spell. And I don't know if you saw it, mate, but they're an incredible miss from Stevenage. You were like from an open goal from about 2 yards, and all of a sudden, like we couldn't get back in the game, and then they were coming forward, and then against the run of play, we kind of got a second goal, and then they got a strange penalty. But I just think this division, I just remember it from before, mate, when we, sorry, Al, but when we beat Sheffield United in them playoffs, it took us so long to get out of it. But you've just got to grind results out. I know you can say that for every division and everyone who goes up and what have you, but it ain't going to be pretty. And I had a few people piping up afterwards saying, "Oh, it's not the greatest footballer standard." And I'm just thinking, Jesus, if Huddersfield people moaning about winning now after years of losing football, then there's something wrong. But to be fair, Joe, the most complaints I saw about the day was the long queues for getting a beer and the new prices of beer, which is more than last season, and then pies. So if people are whining about queues for beer and pies, then the team are doing well, which is, it's quite nice, to be honest, mate. It makes a change. And here we go again, a complacency kicking in already, but Shrewsbury at home on Saturday, you're thinking another one's hopefully coming up. But yeah, I really like Michael Duff, Joe. I've just watched his press conference before I come on, and he just speaks sense. He's like challenges the players. It's like everyone's. I think what helps us, Joe, is like he managed at Cheltenham, mate, so he knows what it's like to be kind of a little club coming like to Huddersfield trying to spoil the party, or Bolton or wherever they go. So I think he knows what it's like to be in the other changing room, when you're just expected to get beat. So I think he's kind of throwing that gauntlet down to the players, and hopefully, but I can't argue with anything he says. I really like his straight talking, persona, and he can't put a foot wrong so far. But obviously, it's very, very early days, mate.
Still early, mate. It is for sure. How has it been in terms of like the transfer front? Are things going well there? Have you lost a few, obviously, with you dropping down a division? I know Berg's all rocked up at Middlesbrough, didn't he, and others, but...
Yeah, we lost Sober Thomas to Nantes, mate, but after what happened in last season, it was a bit of a carnage, really. Obviously, Brighton writers shouted at the players and outed a few, and we were always going to lose. Like with you, mate, when obviously you didn't get up, you're out and relegated.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, once you go down, mate, you're always going to lose your best players. The thing is, at the moment, I haven't lost anyone at the moment that I don't think, we want to... that I'm too bothered about losing, if I'm being
honest.
You worried
about Helic, weren't you, before? Is he still...
Yeah. They tried to... he was never going to give anything out in the press conference, but like they pushed Duff and, anyone coming in and out. Says there's been no bids for anyone, but there's been a little bit of interest for fringe players, and we don't have to sell, so that's good. I think just Nichols, mate, as goalkeeper, and Helic really are the two that, I wouldn't want to probably lose, really, but I think we're up into maybe bringing a striker, but I agree with the manager, mate. I think if it shut tomorrow, the window, I think I'd be happy with the business. Obviously, you guys need to, I think, the guys coming from Almeria, but there's a three other signings I think you want to make. I think for us, everyone always needs that extra striker, but I just, we've got competition for places in good areas now, Joe, which is really good. But I think what I like as well, you can just see his stamp of authority on the play. The play's really nice. Some of his goals is like, we've got two proper fullbacks who push really high part of me does worry when we play some decent teams if you're going to get caught out, because we've got kind of his back three and the best, mate, because he likes playing like a 3-5-2. We like the wing backs really pushing forward. But he's lovely, mate. It's nice to watch, and yeah, it is low budget stuff, obviously Stevenage, but we've got Matt's boys next week, which will be a real test, to be honest. I'm right looking forward to that game, and yeah, so no, you can't spend any more than that, really, can you? And yeah, but no, we'll see what happens on Saturday. But mate, no, it's just nice. But you never know with top two. You just think get into top six and see where it takes you. But I just think just grind the things out early on in that as well. I think if you're winning 3 or 4-0 and stuff, we're like
just putting points on the board, in it. It's just about putting. It's a long old grind, a 46 game season, man. You know?
No, I'm pleased. I'm a Duff convert. I think he's just a perfect fit for Huddersfield, mate, because he speaks the language everyone likes to see. He don't bullshit yet. And what he says, mate, will happen on Saturday. It does happen, not just like we'll win, but it's like this is going to happen. We're going to play this way, that way. So you can see where you used to watch like Moore and some of the other managers we've had in the past. We've had so many. It's like this is talk a lot of the stuff in the press conference, and then you watch it on Saturday, think, huh? You said this was going to happen, or they were going to play here and this and that, and it's just ripped up. So no, mate, big thumbs up at the moment, but obviously a bigger test to come.
Therefore, shame's sake can't be said for Rotherham and Matt, because you were looking forward to winning some games of football. Listen, I know it's still early doors, but another draw at the weekend. Any more dirt to spill on Evans? Was he praising any decisions he made at all, like playing the right back or something? I picked the right player even though we didn't win. What's he been saying this week, mate? I know he got a fine as well, didn't he?
He got a fine and a ban for complaining about referee against Exeter. He took it in the Papa John's Bristol Street Motors, as it's called this year. A game he didn't really want to play. He took the ban in that one, so he's done quite well, to be fair. No, he was quite well behaved in terms of what he said. We still weren't very good. We were better than we were against against Exeter, but that's not particularly hard because we were dreadful. We cocked a bit of stick on our show this week because I still didn't enjoy the game. I still don't think we played very well. It was better. Actually, it was better, and a lot of fans are kind of clinging on to that there is a bit of positivity there, that it's a step in the right direction. But Bristol Rovers were dreadful. They just came. They're kind of classic League One team. They came up hoping for the point, got the point. They offered us absolutely nothing, and those are the kind of games that if we are at the right end of this table at the end of the season, we're going to be looking at it saying, bloody hell, that's 2 points dropped there. But that'll be a lot of times this season. League One's full of teams that come in and sit in, especially away from home, because you'll find this out as the season goes by.
I was surprised. Yeah, you're right. Stevenage just didn't offer nothing. I thought they'd like come in and open up. They just did. They were like paid you so much respect. You were thinking, sure, they're going to do something different. To be fair, he made 3 subs at half time, but Jordan Hugo got some goals in midweek, mate, didn't he? And obviously you haven't scored any in the league, but I think, I know that Bristol Street Motors is knocked and what have you, but I think it can be used for someone like him to showcase or give guys I'm not looking forward to it, but when we play, I'm interested to see who's going to put their hand up and say, "Guy, get me in on a Saturday." So
is he still there then? Is he still at your place, Matt?
Yeah, he's still here. He's coming for a lot of stick and all. He's one of those strikers that goes down under a breath.
Remember that big money move to West Ham after his was it at Preston he was smashing him in? Was it?
Yeah, really good time at Preston. Went to West Ham, and he's just been bit part loans everywhere. He's still not a fan's favourite, but the 2 goals he scored on Tuesday were decent enough goals. Mansfield weren't at the strongest, neither were we, but it was another step in the right direction. We ended up with 10 men and still won with 10 men on Tuesday as well. So there's progress and there's steps in the right direction. But with Steve Evans, it'll just click. At some point, whether it's now or in 10 years' time, it will click. It's just how long do we have to wait for that? We're still a sign or two. We're trying to get that Sheffield United youngster. I think that Peck, try and get him on loan at some point, but that depends on their business as well. It's in the right direction, but it's very, very, very short steps and small steps, and it's still very ugly football. Steve Evans' ball, it's long ball, isn't it?
Standard, yeah. Well,
the thing is, though, Matt, you've brought a lot of players in, though. You know what I mean? It's a shame we haven't got any all in, because I was just looking at theirs. They've brought like 10 players in. They're on about signing 2 more. You can't just sling 12 guys in 9, 10. Yeah. I know you've got your business done a bit more earlier than others, but I think for just to expect it to be on fire from day one, it ain't going to happen, is it? And that as well. We've not had maybe the revolution. We've just had 3 or 4 canny signings where, yours is, and I suppose a new manager, but man, I thought he came in a bit earlier than Duff. But I just think everyone wants that perfect start, but I just think you need a bit of luck, don't you? I think with your, it sounds like you battered them on Saturday, 20 shots and 5 big chances and what have you. But just
keep on a game. If on another day we'd have won 5-0. We still weren't great, but we're creating those chances and getting the ball in the right areas. Which, if we weren't doing that, I'd be really, really worried. But we are putting the ball in the right place. So I'm confident it'll get it right. I'm not happy because the football's rubbish at the minute, but I am confident that we will get there at some point.
Good stuff. Good to hear. Let's go over to Harlan.
Sorry, Matt. Well, it rubbish. I know you when you got promoted before. Well, the football by and large pretty rubbish then. I remember it a bit direct with that manager that were manager at Stevenage. One of you were like, he was your striker, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, under Evans last time.
Yeah,
it wasn't as direct. He gets a lot of stick, Evans, for his football, and when it's good, like I think I mentioned this last week. When it's good, it is actually good. You play through the thirds. You're playing out wide. You're getting balls. You're playing positive football. It's just when it's bad, it looks horrific because it can be a bit too direct. Evans is not a great tactical manager. He relies on the man management side of things. So when it's not great, it really does look disjointed and ugly and all this. But yeah, it can be very, very direct. Sometimes it works, to be fair. But it's so far his football hasn't really changed. It's the same kind of style so far. Which I thought it might have progressed, but it hasn't.
No. Right, let's switch on over to Hal then. You can tell Matt about this kid Peck and if he's going to turn up, and you can tell us a bit about your transfer business because Scott's saying busy few days for the Blades coming up. Johnston and Cannon on their way in. Do you want to tell us about that, my man?
Well, Peck, are you saying, Matt, that it's going to be Siddy, and he's going to go on loan? Because Blades have helped you out in the past, haven't we, with a few good players?
Yeah, that's the rumour. Steve Evans is talking him up big time, and that's a surefire sign he's in for somebody.
Yeah, well, he'd be brilliant. I mean, I've seen him about twice, and he looked really good once. You know what? It'll probably work out if he goes to Rotherham. I think it'd be really exciting for you, for him. For Blades fans, we get a chance to see him more regularly because he'll only get a few minutes here and there. We've got so many midfielders, too many midfielders. But will we have more? Mickey, Johnson, rumoured.
West Brom last season, he was unbelievable, Hal. I can't lie to you. Every time I watched him at West Brom, I was like, I would really like this guy. I think he's a top player. Very good.
I had a quick look on Twitter, and Celtic fans are absolutely laying into him. And they don't seem to rate him. So I don't really know what that's all about.
Ask West Brom fans. You guys remember Mickey Johnston from last season, weren't you, for West Brom?
Yeah, I've heard Burnley are close to getting him, so I don't know if where he's going to end up, to be honest with you. Yeah, Burnley.
Well, I mean, I've heard nothing official about this one, and Tom Cannon, we've been linked with him for a while. I've got a little video about him on the channel, which is part of my rumour roundup, so you can probably find it in there, in one of them. I think it's the third one or the fourth one. And he looks pretty good. He hasn't scored that many goals, but maybe just needs a running aside and he'll kick on. But to be honest, I don't see either of them happening. Clip that, because that'll then happen. More likely, Anil Ahmedhodzic will leave, and that'll be a shame. He might go to Ipswich, so you know what? Leeds and Sheffield United won't get a chance to see him next season, which will be a shame. So we'll see what happens there. A little bit of cash for the Blades, and then like a week left to spend it. Fun.
Yeah.
How good, I know it's not Premier League podcast, but how good Sander Berge? Everyone seems to like him, and he gets some moves in, doesn't he? Is he that good or not? I always feel a bit underwhelmed when I'm watching him, mate.
I think you can sum up Sander Berge's Sheffield United career in the fact that none of us ever agreed on how to say his surname.
He's had some very good moves, though, hasn't he? Obviously, the fact he's on Burnley, now he's at Fulham, but he was linked to Manchester United. He's been linked to Liverpool in the past when he was at your place, I think, weren't it, Hal? So he's
thing with Sander, right? He starts a game well, he goes on and that's a great game. But if he gets bullied early on, he doesn't fancy it. I've never seen someone as tall as him pull out of so many challenges in the air. But there were games, like I remember Swansea at home a few years ago, where he just absolutely dominated. And you're like, this guy's way too good for the Championship. And then some other games where he just kind of disappeared and, looked like a player that wasn't quite all putting it together. Sometimes his passes would go astray. Sometimes he'd lose out on headers to players, who are 4'3". You just think, what's happening there? But the majority of the time, Sander was really good. And I think he'll now have found the club that he stays at in the Prem for a long period of time. He's been looking for that team where he gets more than 2 seasons at the top flight. I think he's probably found it now.
Yeah, they're going all right. Fulham, they've done some decent business as well. But this isn't Premier League, and this isn't.
What happened
Fulham
on Saturday, mate? I tell you what, I bet there were people that lost a lot of money with your.
I had them on an accumulator. I can't lie. I had them. Yeah.
Well, like I was
sent off, didn't they? Didn't was it get
sent off?
All back?
They had a man sent off. So I was watching this. I went back to England, and I was with my nephews. And first half, I turned to my nephew Rafe, and I just said, "This could be 5." Like, we were so good first half. Like, all the ball, all the chances. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was Cifuentes did an incredible team talk, or Wilder did a bad one. But second half, we've all been to games where it's been Jekyll and Hyde, and it was one of them. And QPR were deserving of a draw because they were so good second half, and we just switched off. I don't know why. I think they probably thought this game's in the bag. And if you do that at any level of football, you will get found out. We've all played football. We've all played football with a captain who shouts, "It's still 0-0." You know,
stats look pretty even, Al. You know what I mean? You look at the stats, it looks like a 50-50 game, but obviously when you two up, it's like you think you've won, really.
Yeah, it wasn't 50-50 first half. I mean, I don't know the stats. You don't know the stats, do you, when you're engrossed in the game? Yeah. But it felt like we had about 150% possession, and I think we should have had probably should have been 74-0 up, but it wasn't quite to be. And actually, that worries me a little bit. Is that we might need to create quite a lot of chances this season. You know, again, we've all seen teams like that.
I tell you what, Al, I keep forgetting about your 2 points. So in my prep today, I'm like, this website's wrong. You got 2 points. I'm like, how's that?
Some websites are wrong because they've also forgotten about our 2 points, including our very own fantasy league.
The thing is, Al, GCSE results were out today, and this woman were on telling us saying how well she did at maths. I'm thinking that was one of my worst subjects. So maybe 4 minus 2 is They'll have to go back to school, me.
That's it. It was my worst subject as well, mate.
Is apart from Ahmed Hodzic, is there anyone else that could be leaving, Hal? Just for my own personal enjoyment, because I'm actually enjoying the last few days where I'm seeing Burnley and Sheffield United losing players, very good players at that as well.
Right. Well, obviously, I don't know. I'm not the one receiving the bids,
of course.
But it doesn't look that way. However, the window hasn't closed yet, and it doesn't close. Of course, it's slammed shut. But according to our local journos, no. However, a bid could be happening right now. For the kind of players we've got that other teams will find tasty. And if we lose 3 of our best players, like any team would, we will be in big trouble because we might not have time to replace them. And one of the players we would have liked to replace Anel with is Joe Worrell. And now we've lost out.
Where's he gone then? Has he gone to Burnley? Has he? Okay.
What's expectations there? Just playoffs? If anything but a playoff spot is a disaster, pretty much, or is it
top
is
2
it
man for Hal, man? He's winning league, man. He's winning league.
Because you know what it's like. Same for Huddersfield. When you come down from any league, you are expected to go straight back because you've got that parachute payment from the top flight. Yeah, and it's how well you utilise that. And I think Sheffield United have had a very good transfer window. We'll actually say goodbye to our owner, Prince Abdullah, very soon. And I think he'll go out on a high of a transfer window if we can keep hold of our key players, and we'll get some new owners in. And we don't know who they are.
How will his tenure go down, Hal?
I mean, for me, best owner
really
I've ever known. We've had some shocking owners. Yeah. And we've had some average ones and some good ones. But when I was a kid, it was always a joke that Sheffield United's owners were not the best. And I think his heart's been in the right place. He's made lots of mistakes. No one's called Prince Abdullah out more than me. But I think that's one of the reasons that he agreed to be on our channel, because I think he respected the fact that we weren't going to pander to him, and we would call him out. And I've pointed out a few things that he knows that, and he's probably agreed with them. And I think if he could have his time again, that season we finished 9th in the Prem, he would have done things so differently, and he wouldn't have signed the kind of players that we signed. I think we look back on some of those transfers and we spent a lot of money not very wisely.
There's quite a lot of similarities, actually, because obviously you speak about finishing 9th. We did that and then failed to back, for me, one of the greatest managers to ever be at my football club in Bielsa, and look where we are now. We're back in the Championship.
Hey, Joe. My nephews, by the way, because I was spending a lot of time with them and I love them, I played them Bielsa trying to say Ipswich. And I tell you what, they could not get enough of it. They were play it again. They're only little, but the first one when he actually says Ips poo. I mean, my youngest nephew, he's like, just play that bit again, just that one. Absolutely loves it.
Joe,
I
I
was
thought
like,
you
hey,
said Steve Evans there, not Bielsa.
That was a mad time, I can tell you that much. Yeah, but on ownership, I mean, wow, what a tumultuous start to their stewardship. I know they were in here last season, but there was a lot of context on the 49ers last season because they were paying for sins of the past with all these relegation release clauses. And then this summer we were told, 5 weeks head start, everything's going to be different. And lo and behold, players that they've signed or new contracts given also had release clauses. So we lost, for me, the most exciting mercurial talent in the championship in Gio Rutter. Yes, his goals weren't forthcoming, although he'd started to, find his shots on target a lot more in pre-season. But
most exciting since Jacob Burns, would you say?
Nah, I'm talking, right? No, Jen, I know this might sound wild, Hal, right? And someone else made this claim, but had he have stayed in the championship for one more season, I think we're talking a Delta Rat levels.
Ooh.
I'm serious. Like, he was that good, Rutter. He was phenomenal. I think he got, 18 assists last season? That was Leif Davis, but he got 15 assists, sorry. But, like, he created the most dangerous chances from open play and stuff. And I just think another season with us. I mean, Brighton have signed him 40 million. I think it's their record signing, and we know how good Brighton's model is. So
does sound like a slang term, though. Like if someone had that dirty Rutter, you should have seen her.
Joe, I'll tell you what, is it
sounds
just
like the
fact
start of
because
an Arctic Monkeys track, to be honest, that, mate. Dirty Rutter, you should have gone, Hal.
Joe, when Armstrong put that ball past Melier, mate, for me that the players are gone at that moment, not gone mentally, but gone out of the club. So it doesn't surprise me what's happened. I think the people that I speak to is more mad at that the incomings aren't coming in rather than who's going.
Of course,
because you're going to lose that. I know it's been a gutting to lose so late. But this is how it happens. The window, it's mad. Everyone leaves stuff too late, and you can't blame selling clubs, can you? Just like getting most for it. But there'll be a lot done in the next week. I think people are getting mad already, aren't they? Though,
100%. But you've got to know. I think the optics look terrible because we've brought in the most money in world football. Leeds United in the Championship, and we'd only brought in, the last player we'd signed before we signed this guy, which should be announced today at some point, was Jayden Bogle. Well, that was 4 weeks ago now. So when we're getting told from the ownership that we're going to have an head start, we're going to be ready from the start of the season. So then you've got all that, coupled with the fact we didn't beat Portsmouth, we got battered by Borough, and then went to West Brom. And look, on another day, Leeds fans won't like it, a point away at the Hawthorns against Corbrand ain't so bad. But because everything on top of that, plus the game was absolutely terrible. You had two managers that were more than content with seeing out a 0-0 result, to be honest. Although they had the lion's share of possession and stuff, we just created absolutely nothing.
Joe, did the owners actually say that? Did they come out in an interview in
Parag,
the paper?
yeah.
So it's not. Like
no, that's what I'm saying. He came out and said,
right, okay.
He basically said we got 5 weeks head start on last season. We're going to be ready, and obviously, So I've been calling them all sorts online, and then, I've gone that far that someone's actually bought me, an American by the way, and had it delivered to the local Amazon depot at Morrison's, a T-shirt that says humble pie on it and a 49ers hat. And when they spend over 25 million, which he's said they will do for quite some time, I have to wear that hat on my stream and give it the old big up 49ers.
Honestly, mate.
Big up the 49ers.
Today, I was laughing today. I watched that bit of that Fark press conference and he said, honestly, mate, he says, I'm used to working with, and I quote, limited resources. So, and this is Joe Rothwell can't even get in your starting lineup, so limited resources. Come on, mate.
No, but
Shut up. I know what he's trying to say, but limited resources. Sure. Jesus.
He has got limited resources for Leeds.
Well, compared to last season, maybe, but
I think so. And Norwich City as well. He didn't have a lot, did he? At Norwich, I think when they got promoted into the Premier League, they spent 5 million one year. When you couple,
100% at Norwich. But I'm thinking if he's trying to limited.
I think, to be honest, Cossie, he sent a lot of shots at the board, I think. Like he said, I was telling him that they needed to look at replacements for Rutter and Somerville back in January. So he said, I didn't say this, a month ago. I said this 5 months ago, what was his line. So I think he was very much throwing the gauntlet back down to them, saying, look, I need some fecking players in the door. Because I think the alarming thing for me as a fan, being so confident before the season started, was the fact that on Saturday, West Brom were able to bring off better players off the bench than us in Jed Wallace, in Grady D and Garner. Our bench was light, and look, yeah. So I'm a little bit concerned. So now that we're bringing this lad in called Laji Ramazani from Almira, well thought of, and there's other names we've been linked
Trouble
to.
is, Joe, people
Mana
are just going to
Solomon
say
as well.
Somerville. They'll expect Somerville immediately
100%,
straight away.
Yeah,
and
you
if
can't.
you don't do it, I mean, it probably won't be involved tomorrow, will he? But I don't know who your next home game is. But honestly, I think that's the thing at Leeds, mate. Everyone's the bar's so high. People are going to compare him to Somerville, and he's a different player. Played, in for a team that got relegated, he was all right. But I watched a bit of Spain, but I didn't think, wow, he'll do a job in Championship. But we'll see, mate.
Yeah, we shall see. Do we want to talk about Sheffield Wednesday for a little bit? Hal, do you want to give us something on Wednesday, mate?
Go on, Al. Get your shirts changed.
Come on.
I mean, I went on a few different podcasts. I was asked to. I don't, people invite me onto podcasts. I'm not one of these people that DMs and says, "Hey, get me on your podcast. I want to be on your YouTube channel." That's not me. But people ask me, and there was this Rovers Seas guy, and he's like, "I've had someone let me down last minute. Please, can you come do my prediction video?" And I was like, "Do you know what? I've got a free afternoon. I'll help him out." Now, I went on there for a bit of a laugh. I didn't even have a look at the Championship fixtures. Didn't have a clue who was playing. And the amount of grief my DMs have not known peace since I went on there and said that Wednesday will get hammered by Sunderland 5-0. And boy, was it close. Boy, were it close. Now, I didn't watch any of the game. I haven't seen any of the highlights back. I've no idea how it happened. But I would imagine they got carved to pieces by the system, which, as I mentioned in the last one of these, I thought it was a really nice way of playing. Very easy on the eye. But if I was a football manager and a tactician, I would probably find a way around that. And I would imagine going down the wings and crossing low would be a way to get in behind a system that is going to try and play out from the back. I don't know how it broke down. If anyone saw the goals, let me know. But I was delighted to see it. More of that, please. Roll on.
Sunderland were good, though. Sunderland are going to be there.
Very good.
There or thereabouts. And I think they've thrown a bit of money at it as well. And it's exciting football, what I saw from Sunderland. So
he's here now. He's here.
Yeah.
Let's let the man speak
on?
for himself. He's made it. He's made it. Come on, then.
Wow.
You lost. You won 4-0 the opening weekend.
Your guys off.
Week later, you get battered 4-0. A record only bettered by yourself back in 2000 or something, I read. Is that right, Ash?
I don't know what you mean. I've been out of the country for a few days, so what's happened?
Oh, you have? You've been on holiday, haven't you? I hope you had a nice time, mate. I
did, mate. Yeah, I found a lovely bar in Menorca that had Sky on, so I settled down at dinner time. A few Estrellas.
You watch Grand Prix? Do you watch it Grand Prix?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Not to 60, all right, weren't it?
Do you know what's funny about it, Ash? Because I was watching the game, and obviously Leeds fans in turmoil. They want Farker gone. I tell you what, right? During the game kicked off, right, and they're all going, "Imagine what Danny Roll could do with our team." Well, this was 5 minutes in. Then on the 25th minute, you were 3-0 down, and they were going, "Sheffield Wednesday are terrible." I was going, "You all wanted Danny Roll in at the start of the game." What happened, mate? What happened?
Oh, jeez. I don't know, mate. To be honest, it was.
Ash, we're 8 miles deep at this stage, I think, after about 12:30.
Yeah, I had a few beers. I mean, I'll not lie. It looked a bit hazy through the old beer goggles, But it was. Thing is, we had one of those games last season at Millwall at home, and I wasn't at that one either. I was in Germany at that one, so it might be me.
Yeah. Are you going on Friday then? Stay away on Friday, and hopefully we might pick it. We might batter you 4-0.
Yeah, last team to win at Hillsborough were Leeds. I've done my prep. Last team to win at Hillsborough were Leeds in March, mate. Yeah, Ash, if you get Shea Charles, that'll be a right signing, mate. That will be a right signing.
I know. Yeah, £15 million player. I know. Yeah, it's come about today. I saw that about 6-7 hours ago that the rumour mill for that one is going, but yeah,
Sunday for them last year. That'd be right cool. That mate. He played about 30 games.
30 games, I think it was. Yeah, it was. Sunday, I mean, scratch that one off. You're going to get them, aren't you? Season every team's going to get them. It was just we just got overpowered. It was just from minute 5. It was pretty thing.
Do you know what though as well,
Jack
Ash?
Clark, I mean, he's always
Yeah.
been a player. He has,
Yeah.
he is too good.
I
for
even thought
Sunderland.
Patrick Roberts on the other side. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
We could actually be looking at a team that in 6 months you look at and go, oh well, you can understand it because they do look really good in the opening couple of fixtures to Sunderland. To be fair, under that Red G livery, and he was Leeds United looked at him when we were in the Premier League before it sort of started to go south for him. So he's clearly a good coach.
I didn't, obviously not know anything about him, and it is one of those we had that obviously in October when we brought Danny Rule in from nowhere. You just don't know what you get, and the way you had Sunderland set up playing it just proper. I think it was a lot of us as well. We just did not get going, didn't get allowed to get going, should I say? So that was all credit to Sunderland's game plan. I mean, 3.5 time, and then the fourth comes a couple of minutes after, and that was it. It was all over and done with for the poor 2,000 odd that travelled up.
Well, let's swing it and
Sure.
look ahead. Go on, mate.
Can I just ask you about? I meant to mention it with Leeds. You know, obviously you lost like Gray, Somerville, and Rutter, but is Glenn Kamara? I mean, it's only early days, but is he one of the bigger misses, mate?
Mate,
More than them, maybe.
Do you know what the most I say satisfying? I always say I hate to say I told you so, but I actually love to say that on my show. To be honest, I love to rub it in, and a lot of people told me that Kamara was no good. He never shoots, etc. He wanted to leave, yada yada yada, and then now people are realising how big of a miss Glenn Kamara was. And look, the only reason they sold him, and people were telling me different, well, I think people now realise, was because they were able to double the money. They bought him in for 5. They got close to 10 a season later. They've looked at it and gone, we can probably replace him. They brought in Rothwell on loan. He's not started a game yet. I think I actually went on Ren's Twitter the other night, because that's where he's gone, and they were lauding him over in France on his debut. So I think we missed out, but they've got, that's why it's now back onto them. If you're gonna have that model of flipping players and bringing in cash, okay, do it, but make sure the replacement's sufficient enough. Otherwise you're gonna get people calling you out, rightly so. So like I keep coming back to, they've now got 8 days. We still need more bodies in, at least 3, maybe even more. So gotta get it done. But I miss him, mate. I think he was a top player. Let's look ahead to the future then and have a look at some games coming up this weekend. Ash, go on, because you just joined us. Obviously, we play tomorrow night.
Yes.
At Hillsborough. I didn't know that stat, so I've just took that note, what Cossie said about us being the last time to win there, and added it to my preview I'll film later on. So thank you for that, Cossie.
I'll send you my back details, Joe, later on, mate. Cheers, mate.
Nice one, mate. But how are you feeling? Because I don't know how to feel about it, Ash, because I'm a little bit like, it's that cliche of it's a wounded animal, they've just been beaten 4-0, we're going there not in great form, they'll want to put it right the wrongs of what happened. Obviously, you're good at Hillsborough as well. How's your thoughts? Because Leeds United hadn't started well either, so you might be thinking the same.
I think it is. I think it's probably 2 teams that. I know we had a good win on the opening game, but as we said, you've got to win every game, and everyone said it was just Wayne Rooney's Plymouth, and the result on Sunday just proved that it was just Wayne Rooney's Plymouth. So obviously the real test is tomorrow night, Leeds. I am positive even after Sunday and a 4-0 drubbing. I am. You've got to be, when you're coming up against a Yorkshire rival. It doesn't matter if it's any of your teams that are coming to Hillsborough or any of our teams going to your place. It's one of those that you've got to feel confident yourself. I think it's 3,500 Leeds fans going, and it always is a good atmosphere with Leeds do bring some. But I am confident, and it just helps that Leeds do seem to be a bit. I'll not say the thing, but imploding a little bit, don't they, with the last 2 games? Actually,
I'm not bantering or out like that, but I thought, didn't you give 6,000 to away fans and stuff? Honestly, I'm coming peace, mate. I'm not having a go at followings and what have you, because I know how touchy we are. But how come they're only 3,500 going?
It's restricted to 3,500.
Nice try, Cossie. Trust me, if they'd have got 6,000.
Joe, honestly, mate.
All right, okay.
Don't look at the comments. Don't read them out.
No, you're trying to do, Cossie. Get in the bin.
I know it's a bit of a thing, and I don't know what your guys are experiencing, but our allocation for Millwall next week is only 2,000. where we got both top and bottom the season before. So the allocations do, and Sunderland as well only gave us 2,000. So I don't know what's
we
happening.
had to split the South Stand as well against Middlesbrough. Like normally, but they made them like put a big petition. The club said anyway that I don't know if it's because they're worried about maybe kicking off with what's been going on in England. I don't know, but maybe they are just making changes, restrictions and stuff.
Yeah, and we do travel well, same as a lot of teams do now. I think a lot of teams are well followed wherever they go.
Stevenage didn't ask you.
What with that? Like 12?
Mate, they're about 100 and that, but obviously, Shrewsbury will fill it this weekend, mate. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
Oh, don't be clipping this out and that. Bloody hell. When Huddersfield go. Oh, God,
League One, you get to go to all the good places, isn't it? You're
Crawley,
I've got
it down.
Cosby, aren't you?
Crawley's near Gatwick Airport, innit? I'll be able to watch planes if we're getting battered and that. To watch them fly up. They used to do that at Luton when they were beating us, just watching them easy jets take off. Come on.
What about you, Joe? You obviously, I'm assuming if you'd have won your first two games, you'd have been bouncing, coming to Hillsborough, going.
Yeah, but also I don't know. I'd have probably gone. Do you know what? If we can get out of Hillsborough with a point, it's not a bad thing, to be honest. Which I know a lot of people will not like me for saying, but look, the 11 we put out, it's not going to have any new players, and if we play anything like we did against West Brom, the best we can probably hope for is a point, because we did nothing in attack. He needs to bin off Joel Pirro, which sounds mad, but like he can't play in the 10, he can't make the ball stick. He's getting a bit of lightning rod from the fans, and it won't be long before, and there's nothing no worse. We all know, when you get that player and he looks to trap it and he doesn't trap it and it bounces off him and everyone goes, oh, for fuck, and you can hear it. That can't be good for him. So I don't know what we do about Pirro. There was some fans that, said he wouldn't fit our system before we signed him. We spent like 12 million on him rising, and it's just not gone well for him. Yes, scored 13 goals last season, but prior to that, he'd been the Championship top scorer for the last for like the 3 running seasons. So,
hey Joe,
yes,
if Leeds lose,
yeah,
is that it for Farker, or do you reckon they'll stick with him a bit longer?
No, they can't, Hal, because they've for me they've pulled the rug from underneath him. You've taken all these players off him. Now, of course, when you actually take it back to last season, you're looking at what then it'd be like 2 wins in 14 or something. And when you look at it like that, it doesn't read great. But this season, much like we were promised, we'd be ready, etc., he'll have been told the same as well, right? And then he finds out Rutter's going, on the eve of the release clause expiring. The game that we played Borough, the bid came in and it was done. And on that day, they all found out. I mean, fair play to Rutter, he made himself available. And then left the ground in tears, you know what I mean? So I know people might say the professionals, they paid a load of money and all that, but I think that affected the group last night on that game, because he was a massive character.
Is Bamford part of the future, or obviously he's going to have to be?
No, he comes off the bench. He comes off the bench. He started against Middlesbrough, but he's just a bench player. We've got
he's podcasting now. He's got more important things to do.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He's doing one with Joe Wilkinson, I think. Joe, I got a question for you. Do you, sometimes fans will be like, I kind of want us to lose so that we get rid of the manager if you don't see this manager being the long-term solution. How do you feel when it's put like that?
Well, no, because I never want to see me team lose. And I actually like Farker, Hal. I actually like Farker. I mean, even when we had Jesse Marsh and I couldn't stand the man, and I still can't stand the man, I would have never wanted us to lose, you know what I mean? And I'll look back at them 2 results he got in back-to-back, Bournemouth and Liverpool. We were the last team to beat, or the first team to beat Van Dijk at Anfield, that crazy record he had, and we beat him and Somerville scored to win 2-1. Amazing. But now with hindsight, you go, I wish we'd have never fucking won that game, because it saved him his job, and ultimately we went down, But at the time, I was buzzing. But no, I love Farker. I think he gets a lot of unfair criticism. I love him that much that someone who watches the channel who's an artist asked to do this. Look. That's
Bloody hell.
So,
Jesus.
geez, no wonder.
That's
the
that's a
coaching
mugshot, isn't it?
trio.
Bloody Joes. So is that you coming in after Parker's gone then? Christ.
Exactly.
See, League One, mate.
I'm
See you
next
later,
in
mate.
line. I'm next in line.
A rose between two thorns.
That's very interesting. What is that supposed to
Picasso.
represent?
The artist dream threesome.
Get that
Yeah,
on eBay, Joe.
the perfect Leeds United trio. Yeah.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
incredible.
I don't know why I bought
Is that
this piece.
midfield three?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Really,
No, I
It's-
think we
it's
should just
great.
end it. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week.
That is definitely going to be on one of those cash in the attics, you know, where and then someone's walking past the car boot, and there's just going to be a picture of Joe.
It'll be on Flog It, won't it? They were coming to one of those arcades, some pensioner. They'll be, well, it's worth 13 pence. Oh, next to you.
Oh god, I love that quality. Right, let's get some score predictions on that one. Actually, on the big Yorkshire derby this week and the first of this season's. I'm going to go for a. My head's saying 2-2, but I'm going to speak with my heart and say Leeds United win 2-0. Let's get one from you, Ash.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think I'll be happy with a draw. I will just our record last season against the top six that finished wasn't very good. We got the draw against you, obviously at Ellen Road, which was Cisco's 1 of 2 points. But yeah, I'm saying 1-1 is head. I want to go 2-1 Wednesday for. I think, I think I can see both results easy, and I can see a couple of different results, but 2-1 for me.
It's more than you could see on Sunday, Ash, than when you were on drinking your mouths.
I know. Yeah, it was. Yeah, got back to my good lady and my daughter around the pool, and it was a little bit like, yeah, I'm going to go down.
Quality.
Score.
Did they win?
Let's get
Did
some-
they win? No. They did
Yeah,
not
don't
win.
talk about it. One of them. I don't want to talk about it.
That's it,
Yeah, good stuff. Cossie, give us a score prediction for that one.
I think it's be a good game, mate. This, I think 2-2. I know you. I didn't watch the West Brom game, Joe, but it sounds like you just went there for a clean sheet and just something to build on, and not much kind of like going on. But I think it'll be a little different this time. I think it'll be a cracking game. Looking forward to watching it. I think it'll be 2-2.
Nice. What about you, Matt?
I fancy Wednesday for this one. Record at Ills was very, very good. I think they'll want a reaction after the Sunderland game as well. I think you got a reaction last season after a couple of 4-0 defeats, the Huddersfield one and the Ipswich one. They were the big one, the better one against Ipswich. Sorry, there were reactions, and I expect to see that with the Leeds being down in the dumps and everybody's heads down at the minute. I think Wednesday will nick it 1-0.
Nice. Hal, come on then. Where do you see it? It's hard.
I want to ask that artist if you could do Joe kind of French kissing Jesse Marsh. That would be box office.
Yeah,
Please make that.
Ashton. He
off
might
the
be
show,
watching.
mate.
Ashton, if you're watching, make it happen. Mate.
Please do that. You know what? Last time I predicted, as I mentioned earlier, Sunderland 5, Wednesday 0. I went a little heavy, so I'm going to knock a goal down from what I really think. So I'll say 3-0 Leeds.
Nice.
And I really hope that happens.
So do I, mate. Look, Hal, we'll stay with you. Let's get your, because who have you got at the weekend? How do you see it going? And give us your score prediction.
Right. Well, first of all, I'm away this weekend with my wife, and she never asks me. She'll be around the pool in Paphos, and I'll be doing an ash and going to a pub and watching the game. And she will, I guarantee, she will not care. She will definitely not ask me what the score was when I get back. And even if I tell her whether it's win or lose, she'll just be like, oh, all right, well, it's only a game. She also has no idea about any, just never ask me about any of the YouTube stuff. She calls everyone my Twitter friends. It's a bit odd. So I leave that. I'll park that. I'll watch it. If there's any Blades watching this, you're in Paphos this weekend, let's go to a pub. Let's make it happen. We're playing Norwich away. It's the first time I'm not doing a match preview. He's there. Right.
Yeah,
you don't really have to do a French kiss. That'll actually be quite hard. I'm an artist myself, Ash, not to brag. And to do sort of two faces side to, it's very difficult. You won't be able to tell who one of them is anyway. Loving your work. And Norwich will be a tricky match Farke's former club, of course. Yeah, those Canaries. But will we be? We'll be mining for treasure. I actually think it'll be a draw, that one. Really difficult game. It's never easy to go to Carrow Road. And even though they might not be in the best of shape, we might be licking our wounds after conceding. Although I do think that draw against QPR could end up being the best result of the season, because I don't think Wilder will ever let any of these new players switch off at half-time like they did in that game when they should have been 4-5, 6-0 up.
Good stuff, good stuff. Cossie, who have you got at the weekend and how do you see it going, my man?
We've got Shrewsbury Town, mate. I think it's sold out about months ago, this game. But yeah, mate, again, the manager talked about it today, just that C word, that complacency, everyone thinking it's a foregone conclusion, because they were dreadful last week with Shrewsbury. Apparently got battered at home. But yeah, you've got to be expecting a win, aren't you, Joe? And yeah, I think we'll get that. But again, just a minor point, but how come you're playing 2 home games in a row? Why can't you just play home and away? Is it that hard for fix your computer to sort that out?
You
Don't you think, though, Joe?
We were home last week and away this week, so it must be just Huddersfield getting treatment.
Don't matter for you, though, Matt, does it? If you're home or away.
No. Yeah, mate. I think we'll win the game. I don't think it'll be spectacular, but yeah, 2-0, mate.
2-0, nice. And Matt, we'll finish up with you, mate. Are you away? Because if you're away, you're probably going to lose. But
yeah, we're away at Wickham. Like Cosy says, the destination in this league are wonderful. We're going to 455 days. Saturday will be since the last 655 days.
wow.
Since we won last one away from home. This is going to be.
Maths isn't my strong point, but what's 2 years? Is that 700 and odd, isn't it? I want 365.
730.
Yeah,
730
yeah.
off the top of my head.
8th of November. 2020.
Not that you're looking at it right. When we get there, that'll be 2 years. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
There'll be some fireworks, won't there? There'll be some fireworks.
But this is it. Wickham have lost 2. They've had a tough start. They lost to Wrexham away and Birmingham at home, so they have had a tough start, but they've lost both of them. But we're going to win this one. We're going to win 2-0, I think, and finally something to cling on to.
I hope so, mate. I hope so, because if like next week's show, if you want away, we'll be starting with you. It'll be like Matt talks to us. How does it feel to win away from home? You know, all that sort of stuff.
We're going to win. I can't make it next week, so we're guaranteed a win. So that's nailed on.
Yeah.
So let's just now go on to Carabao Cup previews. Joe, who have you got next week, mate? No.
I don't want none of that Mickey Mouse stuff, mate.
Mate, we didn't play Bristol Street Motors this week. I think that's to come, the joys of that.
How is it?
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
Grimsby Town away for us.
You do
that's
like
a good away day, that.
Hey, we've got Barnsley in the cup. How exciting is that?
nice.
Oh, where's it? Al away. I think it's away, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is away.
Yeah.
I'll have to double check, but I think so.
That, mate.
Do you know what though? Like what I will say, if we win on Friday, we're back. You know what I mean? Like it turns that quickly for me. Like if we beat Wednesday on Friday, players have come in the door. Next week, Shaw will be like, fucking, we're dick in Hull. We're back. We're going to win the league. It'll quickly turn round. Trust me, it'll quickly turn round. So I can't wait. I'll be insufferable if that happens as well.
Yeah, of course, we'll have played these Carabao Cup games by the next time we're all here together on that Thursday. So I'll, hopefully we'll be talking after Two Blades wins. And yeah, it is at Oakwell on Tuesday.
George, are you asked when it's a Friday game out? It's one of those. I think if you win, you're buzzing for the weekend, but it's hangs over.
It can ruin you. Yeah, of course.
Are you a Friday night guy, or are you not asked?
Well, it can ruin your weekend, can't it? Like, to be honest, and it's brutal being a Leeds fan right now. I can't lie to you because it's been really tough for me anyway.
You've not won 2 games and lost what?
No, but it's not even about the results. I know it sounds like I'm saying poor me, right? I'm not doing that, right?
But
It's right. If you compare me pre-Portsmouth to me 12 days later, it's night and day, man. I like genuinely, because I create content, do it as a living. So every time I'm coming on stream saying they're fucking not signing anyone, they're lying to us again, and unfortunately, football dictates my mood. Unfortunately,
Joe, you were doing a watch along with Leicester Tottenham. I thought you'd change clubs or something on Monday. I was getting worried for you. I was gonna bump in and check in with you.
Well, the worst thing was, right, Archie Gray came on, so I was like, it's Archie time.
Oh.
So I was buzzing to see Archie Gray. But as I genuinely tweeted that, the same time, Rutter went to Brighton. at the exact same time. And then did you see the Brighton tweet? Do you remember "Don't go to bed just yet"? Lads?
Yeah.
You remember that, right?
Yeah.
Good banner,
So
wasn't it?
yeah, so Brighton had this video of Rutter typing on Twitter. It zoomed in and he'd put "Don't go to bed just yet," and then he turns to the camera and winks. Well, obviously everyone then started going, "They're fucking turncoat," and I'm having to sit there going, he did not know. Like, okay, maybe his agency could have done something, but that's just Brighton taking a swipe. So yeah, yeah.
I do think for a lot of clubs now the transfer announcement, it's not just the player
It's about
signing or a shirt
Yeah.
stuff. They are doing some proper social media, and that's for a lot of clubs. There's some cracking.
What's your excuse for that? Oh, there's someone at the door, and then he walks in and goes, "It's our new signing." Like the
Danny
acting.
Roll wouldn't have said it like that, though, would it?
The thing,
Do what?
it makes you wonder, doesn't it? I bet there's so many saved in drafts and planned like months in advance of these
100%.
social media. I'd love to see the
100%.
ones that didn't go through the moves just on a thing. It'd be proper funny, wouldn't it? But I
Course.
suppose it's the job, as Roy Keane would say, innit? But you know what though, Joe? Just looking at some of these Premier stuff, like Nketiah, like 30 million Forest, Rutter 40 million
Crazy.
Brighton, Bournemouth signing guys for 37 million. Yeah, I get they've sold Solanke, but honestly, mate, when you think Bournemouth and Brentford, like I'd begging buckets out like not long ago, and now it's the game is just nuts. And if you're not in that Premier League, you're just basically rich pickings, aren't you? As you've seen, it's mad.
It is mad. It is. You're right. I mean,
Madness,
like
mate.
even Nketiah and that Reece Nelson man, when they stayed at Arsenal and they gave him young to, they put him on 100 grand, 120 grand a week.
And this
Eddie
is it. Like,
Nketiah.
when you get there, you've got to try and compete. It's not just, and people are like, "Oh, why aren't you spending money?" Well, you might sign a free.
That last season, Hal.
Well, exactly. I mean, even if people were saying, "Oh, go and get free transfers," well, you've got to offer them 70 grand a week. Because you're up against Forest, who are throwing loads of money. Honestly, I don't think the Blades had a chance last season, and I think it'll be very similar for like all three clubs that went up last season. I think it'll be a similar story for the clubs going up this season, and maybe until there's some sort of reform, and this is a bigger conversation, and a parity across the board, it might be like that for a lot of teams going up. You might get an occasional side that catches lightning in a bottle and has a really great manager, but this could be difficult.
That is what it comes down to for me, Hal. If you look, it is about having that style, that manager, like with Wilder, like he did. But then it's then about recruitment. Like you said, your chairman ballsed it up. Our chairman ballsed it up with Bielsa. I actually think that Ipswich could do something similar. They look quite good against Liverpool.
Yeah,
I think
but their
they could
squad,
do well.
like I was looking at it player for player, and I was like, "Oh, they're going to need reinforcements." I think their manager's quality, but is it going to
just
be?
coming down there. Brozier from Chelsea, I think.
Yeah, and you know what? I actually know one of his coaches. That's a story for another day. But anyway, good lad. They'll need more.
Yeah, they will. No, you're right.
It's never going to be right with Chelsea doing what they're doing, is it? That's absolutely ridiculous. But then the drop down, as you've just said about Ipswich picking up players, there's the fallout of Chelsea spending these billions is that the other 20 players that he said that it's surplus requirements, somebody's going to be able to pick up quality Premier League players from Chelsea that are surplus requirements. Is it going to be either Ipswich, Leicester, or Southampton? Probably not, but you're in there with the money, aren't you? So it's
No, you're right, mate. You're right, and I don't know. We'll wait and see, won't we? But I do think, like last season, especially, the three teams were just nowhere near good enough quality wise to even compete. Let's be honest.
I think it's just, to me, it's this Man City thing that's hanging over. That was good banter when that pub 115 charges versus 115. What was it? 115 players or something like that. What it? But I love that. But the trouble is with that hanging over it. January, City could be bottom, and there's loads of other charges hanging over other teams. I just think it's a bit of a farce at the moment. How do we? I mean, I don't bet, but like, how could you bet to City win the league? You don't know, do you?
The worst thing is, right, and this is what I rate my club for it, but the year we went down, Everton, Forest, Leicester, all cheated and received points deduction, right? We didn't. Then when we don't get promoted, again, Leicester cheated. And it's like, it almost feels like, well, it don't matter if you fucking cheat, because they're going to...
Bournemouth and QPR did it back
Yeah, exactly,
in the day,
100%. And they're going to give you a point that's not going to affect your league position. Do you know what I mean? They'll go, yeah, we might give you this, but it's not going to... Like, I don't think the Premier League would ever be ballsy enough to give such a point deduction that it relegated a team. I don't think they'd ever have the balls to go, say if someone's in 16th, well, if we deduct them 12 and they're now relegated, I don't think they'd have the balls for that. That's why you get them appeals that's like, looking at, right, we'll take six. You know what I mean? If you're going to give them it, fucking give them it. And then we've got a club like mine that have stuck to the rules and we're still where we are. And you just, well, if we'd have fucking cheated, maybe we'd have had a better chance. It's frustrating. Do you think they would throw the book at someone that much to see them relegated? I think
we need to see what happens. And Man City's going to change everything.
Yeah.
If they do it properly, City changes everything and clubs have to get the house in order. Yeah. But I don't think
they do it in Italy, don't they, Hal? Remember you
in Italy? They
ended up in third.
Honestly,
third
I used to go to Florence quite a bit and watch my team Fiorentina. Fiorentina got relegated, like right out of it. Had to completely change the name of the club. That sort of thing needs to happen to Manchester City if there's going to be any kind of precedent for future, because otherwise, you're right, Joe. Just cheat, you'll get away with it. It's been happening since West Ham did it in 2006, and it'll carry on. I'm not bitter.
Whatever happens to them, you'd say they get docked points or whatever. They're just going to appeal, so that's going to like delay it more. And it's just, I hate it when it's like in a courtroom and all that stuff. But a lot of football is like that now.
And one of the worst things, Cossey, I remember when they first put their appeal in or whatever City, and they literally had a T4 banner in the Etihad of their QC or whatever he was. And that's like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, that we're going and paying to have this thing made of a lawyer that's representing the football club. It's like, what's that about?
They got banned out of Champions League and then they won the appeal, didn't they? And they'll be thinking, well, it's bulletproof, but you might change it, like you say, Al, forever if something amazing happens.
There'll be fans outside the courtroom celebrating like an away goal in the old days if, one day goes well for City and then they come back the next day. And eventually, if they get away with it, it'll be all cheering, they'll be dancing the street. This isn't football. Football has changed. It's ruined.
Joe's going to be doing a watch-along outside courtroom.
Get a watch-along going.
It's so true, though. Like when Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, that kind of vibe, when everyone's outside the court and that, yes, he got not guilty, that's what it'll be like.
I'll make sure you do a painting at judges and that so Joe can get it autographed and that. Put Joe in the middle of it.
Brilliant, man. I love that.
Just shows it again, Joe. I can't go to bed.
No, you want to see it.
Mate, it's incredible, this. This is Picasso. Forget it, mate. Forget it. Look at this. It's incredible. Look at Joe's face. It looks like
what goes through someone's mind for that. That is just
me, man. It was I said get it done, man. It's
it's nice. I actually thought it was a painting to begin with. That's photographs.
Actually,
And
it looks like something from Game of Thrones, doesn't it? Like a three-headed dragon.
I don't know what it looks like. I'm still trying to.
Because he did me this as well. He did me that as well, but unfortunately, he's no longer with us, so I can't put that on.
Got a big X over his face.
I know, yeah. I can't believe it. They're absolutely hammering me here, man. Yeah, I've been called Max Branning many a time, to be fair. Housewife's favourite.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Max Branning is from EastEnders?
I've never watched EastEnders. Sorry. I support Northern things.
I mean, I don't watch shows. I just know Max Branning is.
Emmerdale all the way.
Brookside out.
Yeah. Bring it back.
Brookie. Great stuff. Right, I think we'll leave it there, and I'm going to go eat some Chinese as well. So listen, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments, hit the notification. Make sure you check out Chef United Way and He Takes That Chance Wednesday week and New York Talk. Bang.
Well done.
Yes, I do know the Hull, and it is to Hull and back. Like
Joe, get that painting on eBay, Joe. I'm going to bid for it. Get it on.
Keep kids away from fireplace.
Shut up, man.
Children in need. Sell one it soon. Come on, for charity. Come on.
Right.